Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to the Ready to Bloom podcast, which features interviews with inspiring women entrepreneurs from around the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, without further ado, I'll hand you over to your host, Holly Worton.
Hello and welcome to the Ready to Bloom podcast, episode 127. This is your host, Holly Worton, and I'm back again with a solo episode for the first time in a while. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how to revolutionize your business mindset for the new year. This is my last episode for 2015, and I'm really excited to get started with the new year. I've been doing a lot of planning, and I'm sure you have as well. So let's talk a little bit about how you can change your business mindset so that you can be in the right place mentally to achieve those business goals that you've got for the new year. Now, if you've been following me for any time at all, you know that I'm a little bit obsessed with what I call the 3 questions. Now, I've used these 3 questions on and off since 2011, when I first trained as a life coach, and I spoke at the Authentic Happiness Summit that my coaching school organized in London in September of 2011. So that year I put together a talk on what I called the 3 happiness questions, because I was helping people find authentic happiness. And the 3 happiness questions were questions that, I'm going to be honest, I pretty much borrowed from my spiritual teacher. So these are 3 questions that he says that we need to be focused on every day of our lives, every moment of every day of our lives. So the questions are, who am I? Where am I? And where am I going? Now, these questions, I think, are really fundamental, and I ended up weaving them into my previous businesses, Tribal Publishing and Socially Holistic, because they're so important to me. It took me the longest time to understand what the heck he was talking about with, these 3 questions. How do I focus on who am I, where am I going every minute of the day? But this is the kind of thing that once you've got awareness and you're paying attention to these questions and you're paying attention to, what's going on in your life, the answers to these questions, where you want to be headed, it becomes so much easier. So as I said, I wove this into my social media work as part of the social media marketing plan that I was teaching to my clients. So, it was all about who are you in your business? Who are your ideal clients? Where are they online? Where do you need to be spending on time online? And where you want to be going with your social media marketing plan. So these 3 questions can be adapted to so many different things. And now I've taken them up again because I love these questions. And I am adding them to a new online course that I'm releasing in early 2016, which is the Business Mindset Clarity Intensive. So this is going to be a really intensive 4-week program to help you get clear on your business mindset. The stuff that's working for you, the stuff that's not working for you, your goals for your business, and the mindset stuff, the self-sabotage that might get in the way from preventing you, achieving those goals. So going back to these 3 questions, the first one is, who am I? So this to me is the absolute foundation question. This is where you look at your values, what's important to you in life and in your business, your passions, your interests. What aspects of your work and your business do you really love? What do you really enjoy? What aspects of your business are the best or your favorite parts of your business? That kind of thing. Also look at, challenges. What kinds of things are not easy for you? And these are the things that, you might want to outsource or get help with. And a lot of people, in the traditional business world tend to look at challenges or weaknesses as areas to improve. But the reality is, if you're focused on your zone of genius and the stuff that you do really well, then you should be outsourcing and getting help with the stuff that you're just not very good at or that you don't enjoy. So that's something that's really important to take a look at and get help with. Priorities. What are your priorities in your business? What are your priorities in your life? What things are really important to you? Because once you're clear on your priorities, it makes it really easy to make decisions that will help you, live the life that you want. And oftentimes it can be really confusing. I recently well, it was a few months ago by now, but earlier this year, I mentioned on my blog that I had been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. And this has been a huge part of my life because I've realized that I've spent a great deal of my life trying to fit in and pretending to be someone that I'm not. And so that led me to the point where I just really didn't know who was I? Who was I anymore? So coming to this realization and getting this diagnosis was really, really important because it's helped me tap into who I am and really respect those differences, and just come to terms with who I am and enjoy it rather than always trying to hide behind a mask. I'm sure a lot of you have experienced this in your lives. In my very first business, back in 1999, that I ran for 10 years with a business partner, there were so many aspects of that business that I absolutely loved it so much. But there were also so many things about it that were just completely out of alignment with my own values and my own interests and the things that were important to me and just morals and ethics and that kind of thing. And so it was really a big struggle for me, that business, because on one hand I loved it, but on the other hand there was this very deep kind of discord with the important things to me in life. And so all of these things, and if you've ever had a job, maybe a corporate job that just didn't quite sit with you, all of these things can kind of take us off course and get us to a point where we're really confused about who we are in life and, who we are at a very deep level. And it can take years to peel off all those layers of masks and stuff that's, keeping us our true selves from the rest of the world. And the thing is that this is such an important thing for you to get clear on, because if you don't know who you are, then you can't project that out in the world, and your ideal clients won't be able to connect with you. Because, of course, if you're wearing a mask all the time and you're pretending to be someone else, you're going to be attracting clients that are attracted to that someone else who isn't really you. So this is a really good question to ask yourself. Take the time to get clear on what is your essence deep down at the core. Who are you and what's important to you in life and in business, because they're both parts of the same thing. Your business is not completely separate from your life. And I know that you know that. Of course, we all know that, but oftentimes we tend to treat it as something separate or, the whole thing. And it's like we forget we've got downtime outside of our business work and other things that we want to work on. So who am I? Getting clear on your essence, that to me is the absolute foundation step. Next question is, where am I? And to me, this means, where am I in my life, my business and my life? So this is where I kind of help people look around and take stock of what's going on for them. What's working, what's not working. What things do they like? What things do they not like about their business and life? What things do you want to change? What things do you want to keep the same? What things do you procrastinate on? What's your upper limit or your ceiling that you've created for yourself? And this is the kind of thing that, oftentimes we'll grow and we'll get closer to that ceiling, grow and we'll get closer to the ceiling. We might even break through that ceiling, but oftentimes we'll create another ceiling farther above. And these invisible ceilings that we keep creating for ourselves just keep us small. I mean, I know I've definitely been guilty of playing small for many years, and I've talked so much to people about, being yourself and stretching outside of your comfort zone. I've been blogging about this stuff and talking about it for years, ever since I trained as a coach almost 5 years ago. So I know these are concepts that you're familiar with, but it's really, really important to see where you've set the ceiling for yourself so that you can strive to break through it. It was funny, just last night at kickboxing class, we were doing this exercise where, they've got the board and you either kick through the board or break the board. And so we were practicing that. And there were two boards. There was the red board, which was the easier board, and the black board, which was the harder board. And so I went for the red board because I had never done it before and I wanted to just practice that. And this other guy on my team went for the blackboard and he broke all the way through it more than once. And so when he came back, I was talking to him and I said, well, so what did you do? Did you just kind of put your full weight behind it? And he said, yeah, you've got to not just try to hit the board, but you've got to try to go through and break through to the other side. And that's kind of what we've got to do with our ceiling. When you determine where that ceiling is, don't just try to head for it and bump your head up against it, but it's about breaking through to the other side and shattering that ceiling and moving beyond. So in this question, where am I? Another thing that I really help people get clear on is, what are your limiting beliefs, your blocks, your fears, your mind gremlins, your negative self-talk, the stuff that's getting in the way, that's going to prevent you from achieving your goals? This is really, really important to get clear of. And this is the kind of thing that when I first trained as a Psych K facilitator, I spent so much time getting really, really clear and just becoming aware of the stuff that was coming up for me. Because after taking the basic workshop, I had this really amazing tool to transform my mindset and break clear of these limiting blocks and beliefs. But I had to become aware of them. So I ended up getting a notebook, and I've told this story 1,000 times before, so you might have already heard it. But I got a notebook, and I would keep it on my desk. And throughout the day as I was doing my work, I would just write down any fears or things that came up into my mind. So, maybe I had a session with my coach, and she said, okay, for next time, I want you to find some joint venture partners so that you can partner up with them to get affiliates, sales for your online program, which is coming up. This is back when I had my social media business. And that scared the crap out of me. So that was one thing that I wrote down. JVs, terrified to ask people for help. Not good at asking people for help. So that kind of thing. Maybe it was writing the copy for Facebook ads and thinking, oh, this is going to put me out there in a bigger way, and that kind of freaks me out, so write that down. It's all about training your mind to pay attention to when you hesitate, when you're looking at your to-do list or thinking about the things that you want to do or you'd like to do or you could do, and then you think, it's kind of scary. So all of those things are the kinds of things that need to be written down so that you can become aware of them. Because once you become aware of them, and the negative head talk and, stuff that your mind says to you that's just not very nice, all of those things, once you become aware of them and write them down, that's when you can ask yourself, what do I want instead? And transform those beliefs. So to me, this whole process is about awareness and clarity. And a lot of people shy away from their fears and their blocks and just try to sweep them under the rug and pretend they don't exist. But yeah, that's kind of not what you want to do, because of course they don't go away. They're just not visible when you sweep them under the rug. And so when they're not visible, you become less aware of them. And so maybe they hurt a little bit less, but they're still there, and so they're still holding you back. And that's the kind of self-sabotage stuff that comes up for people when they keep setting goals, they keep taking action, but it's not the right action, or they're not taking, enough action, and it's just not happening, and their goals aren't being achieved. That's often what happens, because you've got all this stuff going on in the background. You've got all this undercurrent of stuff that's preventing you from achieving your goals. So the next question, of course, is, where am I going? And this is all about your big business vision. And I've talked about this in other podcast episodes. I've got a free download on my website about how to get clear on your big business vision. And this is all about asking yourself, question 2 is, where am I now? Question 3 is, what do I want instead? Where do I want to be headed? What do I want to be doing for the new year? We're here at the end of 2015. What do you want to get out of 2016? And this is really, really exciting. It's exciting times to be at, the verge of a new year, because it's kind of like, a reset where there's absolutely nothing different. It's just a different calendar year, but it's like there's all that anticipation that we can set new goals for ourselves and achieve new things and stretch out of our comfort zone and get into a new level. And I'm really, really excited about the next year. I've got so many plans. I've got my online course that's coming out. I've got a number of books that are coming out. I've got a whole list of small and large projects for the new year, and I'm really excited about them because a lot of them involve a lot of creative work, which I absolutely love, and of course, one-to-one client work, which is my absolute favorite. So the whole where am I going thing is, what's your big business vision? And this is the kind of thing that you really need to get clear on. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And really dial up that vision and really get clear on what it is that you want. Get all the detail in there. What does it feel like when you're living your ideal business life and lifestyle? Because of course, it's really, really important that your ideal business fit into your ideal lifestyle. Because if you're working crazy hours all the time, that's going to be stressful. And that's probably not what you want. I have a lot of friends who really struggle with the whole business life balance. And it's because they're not clear on their priorities. They're not clear on how their business fits into what they really, really want for their lifestyle. So this is the kind of thing that you need to be clear on so that you're not stuck scrambling to create this massive business in a way that's just not fitting into what you really, really want. So where am I going? That's really, really important. And again, I've got free download on my website that you're welcome to get. If you go to readytobloom.com, and that's ready2bloom.com/resources, I've got a number of things there that you can check out that will be of use to you in creating this big business vision. So I've got how to get clear on your big business vision, and that it's a worksheet that accompanies my solo podcast episode number 111. So that could be really, really useful to you in getting that clear. I've also got a free download that I created about a year ago called Make This the Year Your Business Blooms. And that's a really, really great guided visualization that helps you get clear on exactly what your dream business looks like. So, hope you find that useful. Now, once you've done all this work, getting really, really clear on the 3 questions, who am I, where am I going? This is where you've got to put it all into action. So when I do one-to-one mindset work with people, I'm helping them actually reprogram their beliefs and their business mindset at the subconscious level. But that work always has to be combined with an action plan. I never end any session without an action plan. So the important thing there is you're making the mindset changes, but you've got to tell your mind that you are serious about these changes. So you need to be taking real life action to put them into place and make changes in your life and in your business. So from here, once you've got all the clarity on these 3 questions, the important thing is to create an action plan that will help you lead you to your vision. Now, this is the point where you can actually go back and dig up some more fears, blocks, and limiting beliefs. So as you're making up your action plan, stuff's going to be coming up for you. You know, maybe you put some things down there that you're afraid of. Maybe you're going to have to be getting out there, speaking more, advertising, PR, stuff that will make you more visible. Maybe you've got stuff around being visible. Maybe, you need to be creating videos for your business and that freaks you out. So whatever comes up in your action plan that scares you, that's stuff that you need to write down as well. Because those are the kinds of things that you can work on and balance for. So that's all the clarity stuff and the action plan. The inner work is the last step. So clarity is really, really important because you need to get clear on what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want and what it is that you want to change. But then you actually have to make those changes. And I know if you've listened to any of my solo shows before or read any of my blog posts, you know how important it is to me for people to make these changes at the subconscious level, because your conscious mind can only do so much. And I'm sure you've seen the whole iceberg thing where your conscious mind is 5% of what's going on and your subconscious mind is doing 95%. It can be so, so powerful. And no matter how much you want this big business vision and this fabulous lifestyle, if your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe by keeping you small, by keeping you hiding in the corner, figuratively speaking, or literally, that's going to hold you back from achieving those goals. So you really, really need to do the inner work. And this is where, you can declutter old beliefs, reprogram new beliefs. I work with clients to create belief statements, to program those statements. I help clients program an intention, which is a really clear vision of what it is that they want. We can work on balancing relationships, whether it's relationships with their clients, business partner, team, We've got stress trauma balance in Psych-K, which is amazing for releasing past stress or trauma and also future stress or trauma. So, if a lot of times clients will come to me and they're procrastinating on something they know would be really, really useful to their business. Well, we just go into the stress trauma release balance and release the stress around that. And then it makes it really, really easy for them to take action. So it's just absolutely fantastic. In just 2 to 5 minutes, you can release any blocks that you have around taking a particular action. And there's some clients where I've done 3 or 4 stress trauma releases in a session around specific actions that they want to take and have been putting off or procrastinating. So many different ways that you can work. And of course, as I've said before, you know which technique is best for you. So I know how I work with people using Psych-K. And these are some of the examples that I've given you here. Other techniques work differently. But once you've got this clarity on who you are and what's important to you in business and in life. Where are you right now? What's going on for you in business and life? And where do you want to be going? What is it that you want to achieve next year? That gives you so much information that you can take to a therapist or practitioner and tell them, look, this is what I want, and this is what I think might stop me from achieving that. And that saves you so much time when you're doing work with people. So this is really important, to go to see that therapist or practitioner with that clarity. And that will just save you so much time. I find it really, really useful. Before every client session, I ask my clients to send me just a simple questionnaire. And it helps get them thinking, it helps get them focused on what they want, what they don't want, and it saves us so much time in the sessions that we can actually focus on transforming the beliefs rather than, half an hour of conversation about what it is that they want. So if you can do this for yourself, this is really, really good way of helping you transform your business mindset by, first of all, getting that clarity. Just fantastic way to get started. So, again, the important thing is getting the clarity and then making those changes at the subconscious level and taking the action towards those goals. So next year, in January, I will be releasing this new course, the Business Mindset Clarity Intensive, and it's, again, just a 4-week course that's going to help you get clear on these 3 questions, but we're going to really dig deep into different aspects of these 3 questions, and there's going to be a couple of different versions of this program. So there's going to be the self-study version, there's going to be the assisted version where you'll have access to me to help you kind of dig deeper into each of those questions and really get to the core of what's going on for you, what it is that you want, what it is that might stop you from getting there. And then I'm going to have a bigger package, which includes 3 90-minute sessions of one-to-one work with me. And that's the basic package that I do with most of my clients, where we just get to work in transforming your mindset. And it's really, really powerful. So hope you found that useful. I think this episode should have a lot of questions that can help you to get really clear on what it is that you need to transform in your business mindset for 2016. So I wish you a very, very happy end of 2015. Happy New Year, and the best of luck to you in the new year. I really, really hope that you have an amazing business and life, and that it's really, really successful. So, as I always say, to me, part of achieving these goals is changing your beliefs at the subconscious level. So find out which technique works best for you and do the work. Because if you're feeling stuck in your business, or if you feel like you've grown and you just, don't know how to take it to the next level, oftentimes it's not the practical business information that you're lacking. It's the mindset stuff. And transforming that stuff is what can really change your business and really take it to that new level and make it easy for you to achieve your goals. So again, Happy New Year. Hope you found this useful. Do let me know if you have any questions. You can just head over to my website and just pop some notes into the contact box. And thank you for listening. And remember to visit readytobloom.com/127 for the show notes on this episode. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Ready to Bloom podcast with your host, Holly Worton. You can find more information about today's guests, including links for topics that were discussed at readytobloom.com. That's ready, the number 2, bloom.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, please remember to head over to iTunes and leave us a quick review of this podcast. Thank you so much.